Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time, thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
It is Steve, and today, what a great treat. I always love it when Dr. John Townsend is in the palace, and he is here today, everybody. John, welcome. So glad you're with us here today. Thanks for joining us here at New Life.
Hey,
you
Steve.
are New Life. You're part of us. You've been a part of us for years, and of course, every time you've been on here, past 3 times, we've been talking about this great, wonderful, brand new book, and it is called People Fuel. Oh my goodness, what a great book. And we've done a lot about this book, and we've offered it all month, and maybe people have heard everything you could hear. But I would like to take this program as we go forward here. I'd like to go through those quadrants, the 4 quadrants, and then I'd like you to, about halfway through, really focus on, since we've done the quadrants so much, any area that you think maybe we've neglected.
Oh, I know. It'd be the 7 C's of the people you need to be around. 7 categories of people you need to go toward or get your butt out the car and run away from. How to know who you're with. Okay,
so what would be a category that you would not want to be with?
Well, the worst is contaminants. Contaminants are toxic people that are basically envious-based, and they don't want you to have a happy marriage, happy life, happy dating life. They're destructive people. It's how to deal with those.
Okay.
The next is chronics, and chronics. And you and I are originally from the South before we moved to California, then India on your part. And in the South, we used to call it bless their heart. And a chronic has a bless their heart, where they're always in trouble with money or with their kids or with marriage or whatever, and they can't get out of trouble, and they come to you, and you, nice people, spend all this time at Starbucks and praying for them and giving them advice, and you should be watching your kids' soccer games or having a great life, but you're always pouring into them, and they never do what you say. They never take your advice, and they're always in trouble. And we call it in psychology a flat learning curve. All of your time, flat learning curve, and we spend so much time in those people, just how to deal with them. And the third, strangely enough, is care. Now, Jesus said you're supposed to always take care of the poor. So, we're always supposed to give back, and you and I are pretty big in philanthropy and being on boards and that sort of thing. We're supposed to give back, but sometimes you can be on too many boards and be discipling too many people and be helping too many people so that your family's neglected and your health is neglected. You've got to have good, reasonable parameters on who you care about too.
I love that. Well, this book is a tremendous book. Now, let me just say, to anybody, maybe you're okay, I've done everything, I've done the counseling, I'm in a recovery group, I've done all this stuff, and you're saying, man, I'm losing it. I'm not gaining ground, I'm going backwards. Okay, maybe some of these relational nutrients that are mentioned here and all that you're doing, you're not only are you not adding nutrients, but really you're just draining yourself of the nutrients that you need. Now, John, you've listed so many here, but let's talk about a nutrient, and then we'll go to break, then we'll go to the phones. But let's talk about a nutrient, a really tough one for folks that are nice, wonderful, loving Christians, that maybe they're really low on this particular nutrient.
Nice, loving Christians, we're supposed to be that, but sometimes it means that also we're better givers than receivers. So the nutrient of attunement is very important, where you tell people, I just need to know that I can vent today and you're on my side. I've been giving to everybody. Can you just kind of be here while I talk about my own struggles in marriage and love and dating and all that? Can you just be with me? Because the over-givers are sometimes the under-receivers, and they lose energy.
Boy, it's so true. All right. Hey, when we come back, before we do go to a call, when we come back, I want to tell you about an attunement story with my wife and I. And maybe it'll inspire some other people to get some nutrients in there if you're missing. We'll be back with more of Dr. John Townsend, People Fuel.
My wife asked me for the first time in 2011 if I would consider myself a sex addict, so I signed up. I'd read the Every Man's Battle book, and it was a great book, but the workshop, it was the experience that really was key for me. If they go to EMB, they're going to be in good hands. This is a safe place. They're going to be surrounded by men that simply walk the talk. The weekend leaders that they will go through this workshop with, they'll help them to get to the root of their issues. I've been through a number of well-preached sermons, listened to and read countless books, been to a number of seminars, but EMB for me it was a game changer. It truly saved my life. Being in this community, being in this workshop, being around these men will change them if they'll let them. You're going to encounter men that will meet you where you're at, and you will instantly walk into a safe place where they're welcome.
If you're struggling, call us. We don't want you to go on struggling. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Be cool. All right. We're back. All right, let's, I want to tell you about this. My wife and I, we go to counseling all the time, and we had a really rough spot in the marriage. And we essentially, our counselor said, so how you doing? And she said, we got nothing. And I said, yeah, there's nothing here. She said, okay, well, you got that in common then. Okay, let's go. Let's go with that. Let's we can work with that. Okay. So we went to work on it. And last year, I found these shoes that I liked in an airport, and I didn't buy them. They're too much money. And I went home. I told Misty all about them, and I just didn't feel like I could afford them. It wasn't right. And then I was going to preach on Thanksgiving, and I said, hey, honey, for Christmas, the only one thing I really would love, remember those shoes I was telling you about? And she kind of looked at me funny, and I said, I went online, and they're on sale, and I could get them, and then I could preach in them on Thanksgiving. That'd be so exciting, because I like to have good, strong footing there when I preach. She went over to the closet, pulled down a box. She had the shoes already.
Oh, my goodness.
That's attunement.
That is attunement, man.
And that's from going from nothing to attunement. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean everything's perfect all the time, no. But I'm just telling you, you can do amazing things with nothing if you'll persevere, have the right motive in mind, and just don't give up, because that is kind of what persevere means. And let's just talk real quick. I'm going to do this, and then we'll go to the calls. But in that first quadrant that you've got here, in all of these relational nutrients, the first quadrant is to be present.
Be present.
That's not easy. It's not easy.
No, it's not easy, because a lot of us get nervous when somebody has a struggle, and we want to fix them. We're all, and men, we're just worse at that than women are. So when somebody says it's been a really bad day, we want to say, okay, well, start getting up earlier. Are you have your quiet time yet? Are you taking supplements? Are you, and it's sort of like, sometimes a person just needs to know, I'm with you. Tell me more about it. How'd that feel? Here's the eye contact. And we don't value attunement and being present as much as the value has. What we found out from the neuroscience. It's just what the Bible has been saying for thousands of years. The neuroscience says when you're with somebody and you convey to them in their world and the well of struggle they're in that you're with them, they feel better. Their brain recharges. They can think better. They can solve problems better. So don't think, well, I didn't have a solution of 3 steps to whatever, but I was with them. You might have helped them in a big way. I can remember one client I had, and she came in with a really tough problem. And but I just tried to stay connected to her. This is what we try to do at the Counseling Institute, is teach our counselors how to stay connected. And we finished up, and she said, you really get it. And I said, well, thank you. I'm glad that's helpful. What do you want to do? How can I help you? She goes, I don't need your advice. I'm done. I got what I needed. And she walked out and solved her problem. It's that important to be present.
Amen. All right. I love that. Love that. All right. Let's go to the phones, everybody. The book is People Fuel. John Townsend, gift of any amount, I send you a copy of People Fuel. Deborah, Indianapolis, Indiana, WBRI is the station. How are you?
I'm great. Hi, I was calling because I've gotten comfortable with cutting people out of my life, except my immediate family and maybe 2 or 3 friends. And I want to know, I guess, if that, I know it's not normal, but is that a problem? They always want money, me to do something for them, and them same people are never there when I need them. And I think it's something that my mom taught us as kids. She always done for people and gave people and helped people. And I guess not only me, but my other sisters and brothers has taken on that same aspect. But people seem to take advantage, and again, they're never there when you need them. I mean, even just to talk to. I had one friend that only would call me when she had problems, but I could call her if something was going on with me, and I wouldn't hear back from her for like a week, and she would always say, "Well, I've been busy."
I wouldn't call that a friend.
Yeah, that's just not even a friend. You're fishing from the wrong pond here with these people. They're not. You're not fishing in the friend pond.
Well, what's your question for us? Because we appreciate your heart, and we want to help you use that heart with the best result of helping people that will receive it in the right way. So, what's the question for us?
Well, the question is, I know I need people in life. God made us to connect with people, but by me cutting people out of my life and being comfortable with not having those people around or any people around, I know it's unhealthy, but is that unnormal? Is that something I need to see a counselor for?
Well, it all depends on so many things, and you would rarely hear us say, no, don't see a counselor. That'd just be ridiculous in this case. But sure, a counselor's going to help you. But let's see what we could do here to try to give you some help in the meantime. Okay. John, what do you think?
Yeah, Deborah, you're sort of burnt out on the takers, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, and your mom did it and your siblings did it, and God bless you for being a giver. There's nothing wrong with being a giver, but it sounds like what you learned was to always give and not be, let's say, and not have good judgment on the people you're with. I wrote a book called Safe People where I talk about what happens when your people picker is pooped. And I think your people picker is a little bit pooped. So, you got your family, that's great, and you got a few friends, that's great, but I do think you need more. But I think you need to have better judgment on the people you pick. So here's how you tell. And we're going to send you a copy of the new book because it tells you how to do this. But what you do is you have lunch with somebody and all this, and then if you spend an hour at lunch with somebody, if half the time is on Deborah and her life and half the time is on Susie, that's great. And when you call and you talk about your struggles and she calls about, that's about 50-50, with emergencies it can't be that way. That's what we call, and I'm going to give you the key word, is mutual. Friends are mutual. They want to enter your world and help you and love you, and they want you to enter their world. It's mutual. It's around 50-50. But if those meetings and phone calls are 90-10 them, that's not mutual. So now what you have in your life is a ministry. Don't call it a friendship, it's a ministry. And
so what you need is a mutiny.
What you need to get off that ship. Mutiny.
Yeah.
So we're going to send you the book. It's going to tell you how to pick better and how to kind of tell pretty quick in the game if a person's mutual or not. And if they're not, you move on. But I don't want you stopping with just a few friends and with your family. I want you to keep getting out there, meeting people at church, meeting people at sporting events, meeting people at community events, meeting people at work, but having better judgment on who you start to spend time with. No counseling yet. Just try to change a few behaviors.
Okay, then. Thank you.
All right, Deborah.
All right, and we appreciate your heart. I'm going to send you People Fuel. It's got it all right in there.
It's all in there.
And I think it's going to be a great, great blessing to you, and it's written with tremendous wisdom here. And part of that wisdom, I just want people to know, be sure that we mention this, you can become part of the Townsend Institute, Leadership Institute, his Institute for Counseling there with Concordia University. John, I think you ought to just take a minute and tell everybody about it.
Well, we're real excited about it, Steve. We have a fully online master's degree program in 3 tracks that we have available for people at a reasonable price. We have master's in counseling, a master's in organizational leadership, and a master's in executive coaching and consulting. Also, credentials for those who people don't need a master's. Plus, now we just have a bachelor's program, which provides the way for a person to get a degree, so that then they can enroll in the grad school. But what we have is it's based on clinical research, leadership performance research, the Bible, and the latest neuroscience. We have hundreds of students around the world who are now getting great jobs. They're feeling very trained because we're very practical with marketable skills. And our next semester is coming up in August, so you want to sign up now. But we make it affordable, and people are really getting great skills, as well as a great team of cohorts and talent. Like, for example, we got people like you, Steve, who are teaching. You're one of our fellows. Henry Cloud is one of our fellows. Dave
You got some new guys, though. You got some great new ones. Who are they?
Well, we just signed up friends of both of you and mine. Mike Hyatt, who is the leadership, workspace, practicality, efficiency guy, MikeHyatt.com. He became a fellow, and we just said yes. And Donald Miller, who wrote Blue Light Jazz, and now who has one of the leading branding organizations in the world, Story Brand in Nashville, Tennessee, he just accepted. We're very excited about the quality of people that will be teaching you.
Yeah. So really, it is an amazing way to benefit, not just from books that John has been part of, but to be trained by him and others of like mind. It's fantastic. John, tell them what to do if they want more information on that part of what you're doing.
Just Google TownsendInstitute.com. Anywhere it says Townsend Institute online, you can go to. And remember now, it's not going to be just to sit in your bunny slippers at your kitchen with a cup of coffee and your laptop, and that's not how you're going to get your degree. We are very relational, so you're going to meet with your cohorts online. There's going to be 7 or 8 of them. You're going to go through the program with them. You're going to go through process groups with them, because you're going to come to our kickoff and learn about these things. You're going to have a great faculty member. We're very big on the relational aspect. I'm showing up online with the students many times a year. I've made 400 videos, and I do live stuff with the students. So we kind of blur the line between online and residential, so you feel really connected. Very important part of our thing is being connected.
All right. So whether you live in Southern California or Southern India, and we have listeners there, this is something you can be part of, and we are excited to support what John does, because you know what it is? We're supporting truth applied to people's lives, and we believe in John, we believe in the Institute, and we believe in this brand new book. So you let us know if we can help you, and give them the website one more time on the Institute, John.
Just Townsend Institute, that'll get you there.
Okay, and if you can't remember that, then you just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com, and we can get you any kind of information that you need. Now let's go to the phones and let's talk with John, Washington, D.C. How you doing, John? Welcome to New Life. Glad you're with us.
All right, how you doing?
Good. What's going on?
Yes, I listened to your show. It's been a blessing. I wanted to call, but I feel ashamed, but I'm glad I called. I've been calling and get a couple of books, but I'm having trouble with my marriage.
Okay, man.
To the end, I just won't give up on it.
Don't give up. What's going on?
It's just like I'm really emotional guy, and I don't like to get crying, but that's in my spirit.
Okay.
But I'm trying to be a husband, my wife, but my mother, my wife, it just don't see it. It's all about her mother, and it's all leaving me out of everything. I'm doing a lot of stuff, and I'm doing things on my own, like bills and everything. It's like I'm just doing it all myself, and I'm not getting no help and no appreciate what I'm doing. So it's just like my wife just turned into a mother a lot. So years ago she stayed with us, and I really didn't want her to stay with us, but trying to be a nice guy, let my mother come in. Once I let her in, that was it. So now it's all about her mother, not our marriage.
I'm so sorry. Well, what's the question for us then? What's the thing we can help you with the most?
I just wonder how can I change my marriage, and how can my wife can see what I'm doing and appreciate what I'm doing, but I can't change her. Only God can change her. Yeah. So I just want to better my marriage.
Yeah, you sound pretty hopeless and just really kind of burned out
and discouraged.
On this whole thing. Yeah, really.
Yep.
John, what do you think?
John, it's a big problem, and the first way we address that problem, we would say, what have you done that hasn't worked? So then we don't, reinvent the wheel with you. What have you tried that hasn't worked so far?
I try to talk, but every time we're trying to talk, we argue.
You mean she disagrees? If she were on the radio show right now, she wouldn't say, I'm spending too much time with my mother. She'd say, no, John wants too much, or something like that?
Yep.
Okay.
So
right.
she won't admit that she's doing wrong. And at first I admit I was doing wrong, and I was doing things not in the way, but I was taking off my family. But now, it's like I get the picture now. It's more about God first and our marriage.
She might still be stuck with the old John in her head.
Yeah,
Let's talk about this on the other side of the break, Ben.
Okay. We'll take a break. We'll come right back for more New Life Live. Dr. John Townsend, People Fuel is the book.
I feel blessed to have had this opportunity for my needs to be met, connecting with other women who are fighting the same fight, hoping for healthy marriages and growing closer to the Lord on their journey.
My name is Shelly Martinkus, and I want to personally invite you to the Restore Workshop. If you have been affected by betrayal, it might be that your husband has been looking at pornography, it might be an emotional, physical affair. I would love for you to come join us.
I feel encouraged and hopeful that even in my struggle, I am enough.
You will leave with hope, with a community of sisters ready to support you, and you will also leave with tools to move you forward on this journey.
Through the sharing in our small group, I realize that I am not alone.
Please don't hesitate. Pick up the phone, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I would love to see you there.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, July 19th to the 21st. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out more. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. I'm on the line with Dr. John Townsend, and we're talking with John, Washington, D.C., really hurt over his wife's, spending more time with the mom. And one of the things that he was saying is that he did make some mistakes, and she really doesn't seem to be giving him a break on that. And John was saying, well, maybe she's never gotten over that. So we want to explore that. John, what are you thinking there?
Yeah, John, what are the mistakes?
Try it again.
So what are the mistakes you said you made that you've changed your ways on?
I was spending more time in the church and not doing things with my marriage, and spending more time with other families instead of putting my God first, my marriage first.
All right.
And when I want to come back in, she always said, no, now you won't be a family. As I've been out the streets, going to phones with my family and leave my wife out. Now she's saying, now you want to be a family now. And the Lord really put on my heart, and that's why I want to do better.
Okay. How many kids have you got?
Only got one. She's 15 years old.
All right. And how many years were you sort of an absent, not there enough father? How many years were you sort of too much in the church? And then how long has it been since you've been more engaged in the family?
It's probably been 5 or 6 years, something like that.
So 5 or 6 years you were too much in the church?
Yes.
Okay, and how long has it been since you changed your ways?
It's been about last year I really started changing. So it's been a while. I've been trying to change my life back around.
Okay, so several months.
Yep.
All right. If I had her on the show right now with Steve, would she say, "Yeah, John's changed. I believe him. He's really an engaged father now"? Would she say that?
No.
What would she say? He still wants to go back out in the church, or he hasn't spent enough time changing, or what would your wife say?
She'd probably say that he's not going to change it because I got an attitude problem too. You know, like the things I do is like they're not changing. So that's what I think she probably would say.
She would say that she has an attitude. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit confused. She would say that you have an attitude problem, or that she does.
She probably said I do have an attitude problem. I admit that. Sometimes I get frustrated and angry, and I'm angry because I'm trying to change her and I can't change her. So it's more like an attitude problem, the way I talk to her too. And I know I meant wrong when I talk to her. I don't mean to talk to her that way.
All right.
But I know she probably said I ain't changed.
So it sounds like then did she bring her mother-in-law for helping with? Well, you only have one child, but did she bring her mother-in-law for helping with the child, or because she's lonely, or because her mother has health issues? Why is your mother-in-law living there?
No, my mother-in-law not living there. She been moved out years ago.
You didn't want her when she did live there, right?
Yes, when she did live, yeah. It's more like.
Oh. But does she now? I thought you were saying that she now spends too much time with your mother-in-law. That's not true.
Yes, it's true. She spent a lot of time with her mother-in-law now because she got sickness and illness. I understand she's a little ill with sickness. She's not that ill, but she got a little problems with her health.
Okay.
And I understand that part too. But she's not that well off. She can take her own self. She can take her own self. She's not that sick. She's like high blood pressure, or little stuff like that.
Okay, so we've got to assume that, boy, this thing is really broken. Really broken. And when things get really broken, John, this is where the marriage intensive. I mean, I hate to, an answer be one of the things that we do because people call us for answers here. But we're going to give him some help more. But this is, this kind of impossible situation. You come to that marriage intensive, things can really, really get better quicker. But what do you do? What do we do when somebody's kind of at this kind of impasse where, and this is a point I want to make. Sometimes our desire to do better, it kind of we might have a lot of desire, but we don't have a lot of competency in relationship. Like he was saying, he really tries real hard, but then he gets angry and stuff.
Yeah. Let me give you sort of a path, John. All this starts with a conversation. Even broken relationships start with a conversation. Yes. And I would start with her in a very vulnerable way and say, I know I'm not the man that I need to be yet. And I've changed, but I know I have more things to do. And I need to know what I can do to be a better husband with my anger and frustration or whatever I am, because I want to be God's husband for you because I love you. And at the same time, I also want to tell you what I need. See, healthy couples are okay saying, I need this from you, and I need this from you. Now, a lot of times they'll go a long way, and then she'll soften up and say, do you mean it? Yes, yeah, give me 30 days and see if I get angry again. I mean, I'm really serious about changing my behavior. Are you willing to change, too, to do things that make me feel better, like spend more time with me and less with your mom? And then can we reach, in other words, you're both saying we need this. Now, if she won't hear it, and I don't want to change anything, nothing's wrong, you're all the problem, your only other step is to go to counseling. And if you can't afford counseling, you go to a good church and find a pastor who is good with couples. But you start off with your vulnerable conversation, and if it doesn't blow up, you go there. And the intensive weekend, like Steve said, is kind of a built-in turnkey way to go around experts who can do the breakthrough work with you. So we're giving you some steps in the path there, John.
All right. Yes. I hope it's helpful, John, because, you stay the course, my friend, and you might really experience a breakthrough that you're not having right now.
Happens all the time.
It really does. But I want to talk to you about, maybe we can get both of you there. Oh, my goodness. Just the willingness to come. Maybe we can get a scholarship it could change everything for you. Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addictions, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
You guys are awesome. You're a blessing to America.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first step toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, please call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
Last year, after Every Man's Battle, I was so moved by the transformation that I saw, not only in myself, but in the guys in our small group and the other people that were there and the stories that I heard, that I decided to go ahead and join Club New Life as a contributor to that.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433.
You guys are doing God's work here. You're restoring marriages. You're giving people hope. It's just been such a blessing to me, and I just wanted to encourage you all, when you see something good that God's doing, just jump on that and help support that.
Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433.
Give your support to them if you can, and just help them do what God's doing here in the world.
Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. Glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. Steve Arterburn here, and we've talked about John Townsend's, it's the Townsend Institute over at Concordia University, leadership, counseling. I'll tell you, Larry Sonnenberg's in the studio, and Larry knows this. I think Larry's one of the greatest leaders ever, and I think he should be a fellow of the Institute. And
well, there's a thought there.
There's a thought, isn't there?
Because he's run a few things that have really made a ton of difference in people's lives. But Larry, everything that has happened at New Life has happened because somebody else has thought it would be worth it to put some finances. Even when we started, two men, Dick Ragsdale, Dave Steffi, they said, let us get some money together to help you do what you want to do. And it's still the same. Let's talk about that.
Well, we're still looking for those types of folks. We're looking for folks that are willing to say it's worth it. And what has happened, the difference in those days and this is they were looking forward to something good that would happen. Now we're talking to people who've had that experience and they want to give it back and pay it forward.
That's right. Right.
And there are a lot of you out there, and I love this. I've read this one before a month or two back on radio, but I love this. This lady said, listening to Steve, Sherry, Dave, and all the others gave me a different perspective of individuals that I deal with in my family. They have anger, depression, borderline personality disorders, dysfunction, substance abuse. I thought maybe she was around my Thanksgiving table. My world has changed so much for the better by just learning how to deal with issues from a positive perspective. Now I'm working on passing it on to others. I refer so many people to New Life. That's what this is about, folks. It's about gaining that different perspective, learning how to talk to people. John just gave advice. What was his name? John?
John.
To John?
John.
Yeah. And I mean, it was masterful. It sounds so simple, but it takes some experience and thought, knowing how to deal with people. But that's what we do, and that's what we're looking for people to support. If you can support it, we have a matching gift. This is a recorded program, and it's a couple weeks ago that this was recorded. So I can't give an accurate report today of where that stands.
Give an inaccurate one. But we were gaining momentum there, but we do need help.
Yeah, we have been gaining momentum. It's been good, but we just need to keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
We need to cross the finish line before the 31st of this month. And if you can help us do that sooner than later, it's going to take pressure off. It will make a big difference. And we'll love you for it. We love you anyway, but we'll love you a little more.
And there's absolutely no pressure to give, but if you don't give, be careful as you're driving home today. And no, we love you, we care about you, and we want to help people, be helping people for a very, very long time, and we want you to partner with us. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. I'll send you a copy of John's book, a wonderful book, and it's all about people, fuel, and how to stay with energy and vibrancy and be recharged, not with some horrible substance or something, but with what God wants us to. He wants us to be in redemptive relationships together, and that's what John's book's all about. It's our gift to you.
Can I say a word, Steve?
Yes, you may.
I believe in a thing called scale. If something's going 1, you want to make it go 10 and 10 to 100.
There you go.
Kind of a biblical principle.
Yep.
Scale.
And you put, I've been a donor for years because I've loved the partnership, but you're talking about millions of people. This show reaches millions, and all the workshops, literally millions. It's not like, it's a few 100,000 people. It's millions of people. So if you want to scale that donation and go to bed at night thinking, God, thank you that I helped millions of people have better, healthier, spiritual, emotional, relational lives. What better way?
Thank you and amen.
One more thing I just want to say, and I appreciate that, John. There are a lot of programs that will teach you the truth. Maybe there's not a lot of application. There are other programs that will say, here's a good idea. Like if you're parenting, here's a good idea. This ministry, you know what we're about? Transformation. Not good ideas, but how do I completely transform my life with God's truth in redemptive relationship? And if that's something that cheers you up, gives you a cheerful heart, God loves a cheerful giver, call us 1-800-NEW-LIFE and support a ministry that transforms.
Well, don't we have all these testimonials on the website too of people?
We have a whole bunch.
There's a raft of them, of people that say, I was transformed. It's the real deal.
Yep. All right. I'll tell you about one of those in a minute. But let's go to Christina from Baltimore, Maryland. And you're on with Dr. John Townsend, Steve Arterburn here. And welcome. How can we help?
Hi, Steve and Dr. Townsend. It's an honor to be on the radio with you. I have to say that I love the Boundaries book and Beyond Boundaries. They are two of my favorite and were personally very freeing for me. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Christina. Well, we're all family here, We feel like we're all family. So thanks for coming.
Well, I learned a lot from y'all. I do have a question on behalf of my daughter. She was recently engaged, and she came to my husband and I with a question of how to navigate her fiancé's parents' request. And it kind of made us pause because it's a very unusual, to us, request. The first was they've asked them to postpone the wedding from June to July or August of next year so that her fiancé, in case he happens to meet somebody else better or different in the real world.
Oh, my stars!
Atmosphere. Well, it gets better. The next one is it's his responsibility. They're asking him and telling him that it's his responsibility to get his siblings on board with the wedding. They have a extended family history of a lot of divorce. And so they have been very scared about marriage. The parents and one other couple are the only ones whose marriages have survived, and he's number 5 of 7 siblings. One sibling is already divorced but got married just out of high school, so I think it's a very different situation. A little bit of history is they were best friends in a group of people for a year and a half before they ever considered dating. Actually 2 years, and then they've been dating for a year and a half, and they just recently got engaged. So they've done things in a very healthy way.
You approve of this young man?
Yes.
He sounds like a champ. Sounds like a great guy.
He's a wonderful young man, and he's been very intentional in his relationship with our daughter. Has been very admirable. He met with us to ask for her hand, and has been quite a gentleman, which is very unusual in this world.
I'm going to jump in here while John's thinking.
Let me just say, most importantly, for us, when we've advised our daughters, is that do they have a teachable heart? And the answer is yes with him. And does he love Jesus with all his heart? And that answer is also yes.
Now, you said daughters, like you have another daughter besides her? You have other children?
Yes, we have 3 daughters.
3 daughters?
This is our second one getting engaged.
Well, welcome to the family. We love people that have family members they care about.
I want to jump in with a thought, and then I'll just turn it back over to you, John. But, she asked you, how do I navigate his parents, through these kind of difficult things? And here's what I would say to her. I would say to her, honey, I think what's better is for your dad and I to come alongside your fiancé and to help him navigate with them. And here's why, this concept of leaving and cleaving, my wife and I are doing some premarital counseling with someone, and leaving and cleaving is a concept that a lot of people don't even understand about. But really, I think it's a great opportunity for you to help him lead the way here and show that before they're married, he really can make her the priority, and he can handle these tough things while you're also helping her see what she can do to make it better, not worse, or whatever. What do you think about that, John? Trying to really come alongside him and help him step up to the plate and be the man.
Yep, it makes a lot of sense what Steve's saying, Christina. A lot of times somebody who's kind of in the young adult years, they get some confusion between the concept of obeying parents and honoring parents. I've written about that, where sometimes they'll feel like, well, if my parents say, well, wait till a better bus comes along, take that bus, and it's your job to do this stuff with the siblings, they think, gosh, if I say no to my parents, I'm not obeying them. Well, children should obey their parents, the Bible says. It never says adults obey your parents. It says honor them so that your days may be long. Honor means sometimes you got to say, I love you guys, I respect you, I totally disagree. How do we deal with this as grown-ups? So if you guys can help, like Steve said, if you can help strengthen him with the concept of how to honor these people without obeying them, you're almost all the way there. We write about that a lot in Boundaries, and also in the book, The Mom Factor, where we talk about if you've got a mom who's kind of, has her struggles, how do I love mom without obeying mom?
Well, we're going to give you a little more on this afterwards, but ouch, I feel for her. We'll be back.
My wife had found me out through my past and my sexual addiction since I was a small child. It really gave me the opportunity to start digging into my past, start digging into my childhood, figure out what was causing me to feel the way I was feeling. Every Man's Battle will really give you that opportunity, because all the guys there in that room are there for the exact same reason you're there. I don't want to be the reason that my kids are going to counseling. I don't want to be the reason that they begin to struggle with the same issues that I'm struggling with, and I've got to put an end to this. Yes, you can be different. God does love you. You can be forgiven for this, and there's a way out of this. But you have to acknowledge that you have to change, and that there's a problem.
If you're struggling, call us. There are people on the other end of the line who want to hear from you, who want to help you. We don't want you to hand down something to another generation that just looks like pain and destruction. You can hand down redemption, but you got to take that first step. Just give us a call. It's 1-800-639-5433. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly. And it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. We're talking with Christina, with Dr. John Townsend, a difficult situation where the daughter has heard delay this marriage. So, well, if he finds somebody else, he's got time to find someone else.
That's so wounding. It just hurts your feelings. It's awful.
Yeah. I think we need a book entitled Parents Who Kill or Parents We'd Like to Kill. So let's, John, help Christina with the reality here. What can they do with their daughter and with the future son-in-law?
All right. Christina, you still here?
Yes.
All right. So where we are so far, how do you feel about the direction we're taking of the strengthen the young man and talk about honor versus obey? How does that feel so far as a path?
That feels great. That's exactly what my husband and I have been talking about, and he's planning to spend an afternoon with him in 2 weeks when he's here.
All right.
Nice.
Does he have an agenda?
I'm very comfortable with that.
Okay. That was sort of like, that was the freeway, but I want to know if we want to go to some small streets in that, or some small lanes in that freeway. Do your husband and you have an agenda for that hour?
Not fully yet, and we would love any tips you'd be willing to share.
Well, call me Dr. Agenda. We'll give you an agenda here.
Okay.
First you say, hi, would you like a latte? And you're nice to each other and you visit, right? And then you present the issue. Now, obviously, he'll be probably ambivalent about the meeting, like, okay, it's the right thing, and I know I love her, but I love my parents too. So he'll probably have a bit of conflict, right? Everybody does. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're his parents, even though I think they're crazy. So you want to ask him first, lay out the issue as you see it, and then he'll tell you, I've got great parents, but we've had a lot of divorce, and they're scared, and he understands that, blah blah. And you say, great. Are you open to some solutions? And he says, well, sure. I don't want your daughter to be unhappy, and I'm torn, and all this. Then you say, great. And then the next thing you do is you give them a bit of content, and you say, let's talk about, because it's hard to give advice and process things unless there's a little bit of content there too. And the content is the honor or obey. And that's when you go over Exodus 20, which is the honor passages, and then obey is Ephesians, and you just make the case with the young man. There's a real difference, and it seems like there might be a problem there. Now, my hunch is 90% he'll go, yeah, I have a hard time disappointing them. Now, Christina, you know him. Is that fair enough to say that he'll say that?
Probably, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he also has strong pleaser tendencies.
Okay.
To not make waves in the family because they do have some drama people in the family. So
not a problem. But if you said that he would say, no, my parents are angels, you're being mean, we have a different problem. He probably needs medication or something. But if he goes, yeah, they're, I'm afraid. I have a hard time pleasing, or I please too much, and that sort of thing. And you go, great, we got it. Then we're on the same page. And then you say, then we'd like to talk about what you're scared of. Anytime you have a hard decision ahead of you, once you see the principles of honor and obey, the next thing is, okay, it's the right thing, but I'm terrified. So I don't know what the young man's name is. Sam, tell us what you're afraid of. And then he's probably going to give you a litany of a few things. I don't let people down in general. Mom and dad are very good people. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, blah, blah. And that's just kind of typical stuff if somebody has some codependency sorts of issues. And you say, we understand that. We really want to help you there. And then you say, okay, what are you afraid is going to happen? What their response is going to be? He'll say, who knows? He's devastated, or they're devastated. They'll say that after all we've done for you, and don't want to let them down. You go, great. And then what you say is, let's look at the other side. If you don't do that, what's going to happen to your engagement in marriage? Well, my fiancé, your daughter, is going to be devastated that I'm actually throwing her to the curb, waiting for somebody else. And so then you say, right, Sam, you're going to let somebody down one way or the other. The people pleaser breaks down here. Either you really hurt somebody that you love more than anything, or you hurt the feelings of your parents? And he says, well, I want to keep everybody happy. And you go, yeah, no free lunch here. So let's help you, since I think you prefer her. The Bible says leave and cleave. So let's help you with how to hurt your parents but not harm them. And there's the key. That's the second content principle. Hurting is different than harming. We're never supposed to harm anybody. In other words, do them damage, ruin their self-esteem, make them not, create depression in them. No, we'll never do that. But Sam, sometimes we've got to hurt people so that good things happen. The Bible says it all the way through. Proverbs says, let my friend strike me because it's a favor to me. Speak the truth in love. We're supposed to kick the dust off our sandals sometimes. There's all these passages. And since you're a boundaries person, you can just go to those passages and find them again. They're in the book. And say, so here's what I think
I want to throw one thing in.
Sure.
And to say to him that you heard a man say this, because I'm about to say it, in situations like this, when a guy like him steps up, he frees himself to become a man, because as sad as it is, if he folds into these parents at this juncture, getting married, it could prevent him a decade of manhood, 2 decades of manhood. And you're there, the future in-laws are there to help him become the man he wants to be.
There you go. It could cost him dearly if he doesn't. Steve's exactly right. And then, Christina, I suggest a role play. We use these in the Institute a lot to help people get training. So you do it 2 ways. A role play is a fake conversation that helps you feel strong and not so anxious, basically. So you have Sam. He acts like his parents, and you say
immature, uninformed parents. Yeah, he could be that. Okay. Yeah.
So, and you or your husband, whoever's kind of more verbal and has more facility, you be the healthy Sam. And so he just acts out there. We're so disappointed after all we've done for you. There's so much divorce in the family, and then you're Sam, and you say, I know that's really hard. I believe, in your intents and everything, but I'm not going to go that way. But I love you anyway. I mean, something like that. So you work out the role play, and he watches you. And then he goes, oh, I'm learning some things. And then you go, great, we're going to reverse. And you go to the reversal, which is really cool, because then you become the crazy parents, and he becomes who he should be in the first place. And he says the things he needs to say because he just got trained by you. And he says, I love you, Mom and Dad. It's so hard for me, and I would never want to hurt your feelings, but I'm going to go this way because God's in the room, and I love my wife, and I want to have a great life, so I'll have to disagree, and I hope we can be friends. And then you finish, and you know what? If it goes right, you know what Sam's going to say? And I've seen this 90% of the time, Christina. He's going to go, my anxiety for people-pleasing was a 10+, and now it's about a 4. I can do this. I've gone through the emotions. I've said the words. I can survive this. And you clap for him, and you say, we'll be praying for you, and then he has the talk on his own.
I wish we had more time, but I believe what you just heard will make him one grateful son-in-law. I think it's incredible, and rarely do people have folks like you to come along and help them with this kind of dilemma. So really can't wait to hear what the outcome is going to be there, and we'll stick with you on that.
Yeah.
We've got about a minute here. So thank you, Christina. We'll send you People Fuel coming your way. Anybody else, you can get it by a gift of any amount at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. John Townsend, appreciate you, love you, respect you. Tell people, you just go to the Townsend Institute, Google that, they'll find everything about that. If you want the book, call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Anything you want to say?
No, just loved being here today, Steve. And the book really it's a lot. Very, very parallel to a lot of the things New Life does. You guys provide the nutrients people need for life, love, and God, and the book's got the system for it.
Yeah. Thanks for dedicating the book to me. I mean, you didn't put it in there, but I'm sure you did. And but we love you, John. And call us if you need help. Tomorrow, Every Man's Battle begins. Come join us, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.